Hello, people of the internet. I've got one word for you. Or not one word, one phrase. I hate you all, and you're all dumb. Just kidding. We were just talking about how Reddit is just the meanest place on the old interwebs, but I digress. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Jake. Welcome, Jimmy. Welcome back, Jimmy. How you doing?
What a cold opening that was.
I didn't really mean it.
Just spilling over. Yeah. You know what? People on the internet are mean, but that's all right. Like it's fine. I'm good, man. I apologize. I've been kind of off lately. So excited to get back. You know, lots of soccer to talk about, which is always a good thing.
Yes, it is. Now we're 4 weeks into the season. You guys have to be feeling pretty great about the Prem in general, sitting 5th and 6th respectively. Villa on 9 points. Who's your only loss to?
We lost to Arsenal at home, 2-0.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. That was actually, like, I haven't been on since that game, so I've been ducking y'all.
And Jake currently on a perfect season. Well, so to speak. 2 wins, 2 draws, no losses. And the lowly Tottenham Turd Spurs sitting in 13th place. 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses. Fucking A, man. All right, who do you want to talk about first?
I mean, you had a game today, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that game first, I suppose, and we can double click on the old Arsenal game as well. But let's talk Coventry. Today is Wednesday, the 18th. Our first round of the Carabao Cup. We had Coventry away, and it was painful. It was painful for so damn long. It's more of the same, which I'm starting to think the Ainge ball is actually De Zerbi ball, but with a couple more mates thrown in there, because we're seeing 70% possession. But in that 30% that Coventry had the ball, we were outshot 15-9. They looked like the better team for a lot of the game. They had more dangerous chances. They went up 1-0 in the second half, I think right around the 70th minute or 63rd minute. And then somehow we pulled a miracle out of our ass when the prodigal child returneth, Jed Spence, who looked fantastic in his cameo, poked one into the goal in the 88th minute. And then 2 minutes later, the other one that people are just shitting on constantly, Brennan Johnson, got the goal in to go up 2-1, 92nd minute. I was freaking out in the basement. It was exciting. It's part of why you love soccer, seeing a late comeback like that, 2 goals in 4 minutes. But for 87 minutes of that game, it's just a terrible watch. It's awful. It feels like I'm watching Jose Ball without the brilliance of Harry and Sonny. So
hey,
time about that.
Say Spence's first name. I want to hear you say it.
Jed? Jed? How do you say it?
I don't know.
I thought it was Jed.
You guys make fun of me for all these Brighton players having messed up names. I just wanted to hear you say it.
Were you going to say Jed?
I don't know. I mean, it's like, if it is just Jed, that's funny because it looks like exotic, like this exotic name, but then it's just Jed, which is like some old guy I grew up around in North Carolina.
It sounds like what's the Simpsons character, the old hillbilly guy?
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah,
Jed Spence is English, right?
Jed? He is.
Yes. Yep. Where was he on loan last year? Oh, was it Udinese? Did he go on loan?
I thought he was in France somewhere.
He was at Genoa.
Genoa, thank you. Okay.
Was he in France before that?
Leeds before that, and Rennes before that. Did I say that right? Rennes? Stad? Oh no, it's Renee.
Yeah, Renee.
Come here for the professional pronunciation of all names and clubs.
Jed played for Renee. Or Renas.
Yeah, Renas.
Rennes. Yeah, there you go. We got full American now.
Some other news: Odebear, who's been pretty good for us, went down with a hammy injury. So looking thin once again. Solanke, I didn't think he looked that great at all when he had the ball. It's been disappointing. I think Richarlison is hurt. I wish I had someone else here that knew that because we haven't seen hide nor hair of Richarlison lately. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I thought he got like maybe it's been a while, but I thought he had gotten a knock back during Copa America with Brazil. I can't remember, but
that sounds right to me. But I'm glad they won. But overall, we're coming off the Arsenal North London derby loss. I think it's our 4th in a row. Which sucks. All of a sudden, Arsenal is just way better than us all the time. Although I don't think anyone's catching City already 4 games in. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But with Arsenal, I thought the Spurs looked like the better team for a lot of that game. But then Arsenal put one in the 64th minute, similar to what Coventry did. We outshot them 15-7, and it's just kind of like watching. It's kind of like edging all game, but you don't get the release of the ending there. So Madison looks like a shell too. I don't know what's going on there since he came back from his injury. Sonny as well. I don't know whether it's all the use and abuse we've had of him for the last couple of years. He's played a lot of minutes, and he's also playing out of position at times, playing as the number 9. I think he needs a break. We need someone else to put the ball in the goal besides him and Romero, which he shouldn't be one of our top goal scoring options either. So Spurs, I mean, it's still early days, right? 4 games in, whatever. I'm trying not to be a pessimist, but that is my nature.
Did Ainge's comments put a lot of pressure on you? Undue pressure or unwanted pressure?
I thought they were annoying. I think they are annoying comments. And he's also doing I can't remember what he wore last year, but I feel like it wasn't as dressed up. He's like playing that Graham Potter role where all of a sudden he's like dressing up, very prim and proper, and can't win. So, it annoyed me. It annoyed me that he said that. But he didn't, like you said, he didn't say anything incorrect. He's just stating facts.
Yeah.
He's trying to.
That was what he was saying too. Yeah.
What's that, Jimmy?
I was just saying. He was just saying that he was like, oh, I wasn't saying it as a boast. I was saying it as like this is, I'm just stating a fact. I'm just, this is just the truth. Like, no, I'm not saying that I will always. I have always like so.
Jake just put a little kitty cat on the screen. How old is that little kitty cat?
Sorry, this is one of our foster kittens.
Aw. If you go to YouTube, you can actually watch us now. How do people find us on YouTube, Jake?
It is
this beautiful cat.
Rooster and the Villain on YouTube.
Does it hurt your feelings that we don't throw a seagull in there? It's really bad.
It's too much. Rooster and the Villain flows.
Right. Rooster and the Devil had the best flow, but Rooster and the Villain flows pretty well as well.
Yeah, but that would have gotten us canceled.
Right. What you sipping on there, Jimmy? A little crackage?
Oh yeah, just a little sipper here and there.
I got a Pilsner going myself at a Brookfield Beer Farm here in beautiful Brookville, Maryland. But
California sober, baby.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Well, California sober.
For how long?
For a while. I've been drinking for a while.
Oh man, I've been toying with the idea, but I went the other way to catch my drift. Anywho, Tottenham. So a bunch of farts.
Yeah, I mean, who do you got? Who do you guys got coming up this weekend?
Brentford. So another
Brentford's tough.
Party.
Like, yeah, they're tough. Like they'll play you in a low block and then counter you with Mbeumo and is it Wisa? Yeah. But yeah, they're a tough team to play against.
It's at home. I feel like if we
London
get one
derby.
in early and get the crowd into it, then they'll be fine. But what is they went up against City early, right? In the last weekend?
Yeah, they only lost 2-1. I mean, they played City tough.
Yeah, and then they have beaten Southampton, They've beat Colchester and Leyton Orient in the Cup. They've beaten Palace and they lost to Liverpool. So yeah, they've been pretty solid. We could definitely lose that game. I would expect. Go.
Malpay's gone. You guys are fine.
Wasn't he at yeah, he left the Marseille. You see the Malpay video with Andy from Shawshank of him breaking free.
Yeah. Somebody posted a video of like someone else doing the Madison like dart celebration, and it was like something about Malpay, and he put the Conor McGregor video of who the fuck is that guy?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Love Malpay.
Oh boy. Yeah, I think that you guys should bounce back. I mean, hopefully carry momentum from the late comeback win against Coventry today. You know, hopefully that's like a catalyst for you guys. But yeah, injuries stacking up early is not a good sign either. So
yeah, I just don't know where the offense is coming from anymore. So it could be a long year.
do
unless
you
something changes.
Like, I mean, correct me if I'm like stepping out of my lane here, but like in the games I've watched, like obviously I think the Madison one is glaring. Like I think that we kind of texted about like on form he probably needed to get dropped, and he did. He didn't, he didn't start today.
But yeah,
but like, but I mean also, I would say that like Sonny doesn't look as sharp or like in step with everyone else. So far this year, he's been off when really they really need him to be, stepping up. Solanke is going to take a minute to. He just came over. He came late in the window, right? So he's barely had like a month with the team, and trying to do that while you're playing games and stuff like that is tough. So he'll take a little bit of time, but you saw the skill at Bournemouth with even less service. So I mean, I think that you guys are going to bounce back. I think I like Ange, and I still believe that he's the right move for you guys. I know it's frustrating, but I think you guys will be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to look at our North London Derby neighbors, how everyone's calling for Arteta's head and not giving time. That's pretty typical in soccer. Is everyone's calling for the manager's head, so I'm trying not to be one of those guys. But pretty soon I will be.
I mean, can you think about going in? Sorry, Jake. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. Go for it.
No, I was just saying. I mean, think about like any job, like even like somebody that, like, I mean, I'm getting close to 40. Like I've been working professionally for a long time now. Like, but even like me, when I go into a new role, like I need a little bit of time to adjust to whatever the culture is, like who we're working with, like all those things. It takes time. Like, and those things are true even for a profession like coaching. Like you need like time and like support to like grow into that team that's already in place. So I try to be very patient. I would say that like even in my short time with Villa, I've been like I was patient with Dean Smith. I wasn't happy when they fired him, even though he needed to go. And I still thought, even as bad as we looked, that Gerrard was the right guy. I watched him do it at Rangers for so long, so I want to give him time. But now it's unfair. Like Unai comes in and they have a quick turnaround. Sorry, I'm going to Villa, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's unfair to expect that quick turnaround. It takes time and those things. So I'd say be patient.
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah,
just a counseling session for a Tottenham fan.
I have some of the things I saw on Twitter about the game. One of the overriding factors was I saw a lot of sort of Brennan Johnson fucking finally. Like, was that a feeling for you, or?
There's a lot of that on the internet, but I think he's probably been one of our better players. He hasn't been finishing, but he's at least creating chances and being a forward-thinking player. So I think that's a little hyped up on the old internet. There's been a lot of abuse in his DMs apparently, so people are attacking him. because people suck on the internet. Like
so
going back to that. Yes, I think that's a little overblown. I think Odebear has been good, but to me, it's Johnson, Sonny, and you have to start Solanke up top for now. That's my preferred top front three. But then Ainge has been starting Benton Kerr in the number 10 role, and then Kulisevsky and Madison left, right, mid, which is a little deeper than I'm used to seeing either of those players. So yeah, definitely some changes. What scares me most is Vicario. He's been a great shot stopper, but on a set piece, he won't go get the ball. So it's starting to be a worry all of a sudden. You see Fraser go.
That was one of the things I've been seeing too. Is like people are bitching about him on set pieces. Like you guys are giving up way too much on those.
Yeah, I mean, it was a push off on that goal against Arsenal. I don't know what you guys thought about that a bit.
Was Ben White in on that? He's a piece of shit on those things.
No, I think it was Magalhaes. I don't know how to I don't know how to say it on Arsenal.
Just Gabriel. Just Gabriel.
And then headed it in. So he's a douche, but Vicario's a fantastic goalie. I love him. But we are giving up. Teams crowd us right in that 6-yard box and seem to have their way with us in there, so it's not good.
No. I mean, your two center backs are, Romero's, a fighter, but he's not like huge. He's not big. He's not a big guy. And Van de Ven is tall, but he's just a beanpole. And I think that I thought Vicario looked like he put on some bulk from last year because he did people kind of saw that at the end of last year, but yeah, I mean he's still getting exposed, but there's not a lot of help. I mean, there's not a lot of beef or height anywhere in that team that can kind of support that. So you'll have to. That's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah. So I'll end it on a couple last thoughts from the Cup game today. Bergvall got a run, didn't look particularly good, but first real minutes. Archie Gray also got a run at right back. He was essentially invisible from what I could tell. So I think Poro's going to keep that spot there. But early days, we'll see how we do this weekend. And then we'll return next week and talk about Spurs. But let's go on to something more positive, more uplifting, if you will. And that's why I want to talk about either of your squads. Who wants to go first?
Let Jake go because he also had a game today.
Yeah, we not everyone was playing in Europe this week. Our Mike and I's teams were playing in the real tournament, the Carabao Cup. Pretty decent game for Brighton. A little bit shaky at certain points. Wolves came out really hot in the second half. Changed up the way they were pressing on us, and Brighton continued as the commentators, if you watch the match, the commentators were talking about it. Brighton kept trying to go up the middle to no avail. They shut that shit down pretty quick. Baleba scores a worldie at 14 minutes. Just kind of to launch him with him. I put it on Twitter and I put it in the group chat. Serious question, is Baleba the greatest midfielder of all time? 63 minutes played, 1 goal scored, 48 touches, 35 of 38 passes at 92%, 4 of 4 on long balls, 1 successful dribble, 4 ground duels, 1, 2 of 2 aerial duels, 1, 2 times was fouled, 1 tackle, 1 interception. His heat map is absolutely insane. The kid's a baller. I don't know if Vifer gets on the field as much as he thought he was going to be with the way Baleba's playing. This is kind of what people were expecting of him last year, and he's starting to fulfill his promise. So I'm sure Chelsea this summer will have a $115 million bid for him. Adingra goes on to score.
A nice
at
shot
the 31st minute. Oh yeah, that guy's good. He's another dude. I think Minte has kind of slowed down. I think Adingra might be gunning for that starting right wing spot. He played on the left with Adingra on the right, with Minte on the right today. So, from what I've been seeing from Brighton fans, I think more of them want Adingra to be the starter and Minte to be sort of that super sub role that Adingra was occupying. So we'll see about that. Geddes, former Valencia star, he was supposed to be that guy. I remember that guy had a lot of promise when he got to Valencia. I believe he came from PSG. It's like a youth product there or whatever. But he was supposed to be like this superstar player, and it just never really panned out. I think he went on loan when he finally got to Wolves or whatever. But he ends up scoring in the 44th minute. New guy, Kadioglu, came on pretty much immediately after he subbed on. He got a rebound. One more note for this. Oh, wait. And then Jason Steele with a, oh, no, baby, what is you doing moment. Just a bad pass.
Didn't see him at all.
Goal. No.
He didn't see him at all. He thought he was like just sliding it back, and he had no idea that Strain Larson was there.
Yeah. And Steele will hold on to the ball. Dorsey from Stateside Seagulls was on here with us one time, and he was talking about like actually seeing it in person, and he says it's even scarier at the match, the way he hangs onto the ball to the last minute. But yeah, bad pass leads to a goal at 90+1. End up holding on for the win. I think Brighton was obviously the better squad. Wolves had a great second half, but just Brighton was just great. My last note for this game, I don't know if that Ferguson shot was going in, but I really wish it had. I would have won some fucking money. I don't know why he subbed him off. I don't know if he's on a sort of pitch count at this point. Herzler has been very, very complimentary of Ferguson, so I'm interested to see what goes on. I don't get me wrong. I love Danny Welbeck. He's been great for the club, and sort of one of those like the streets will never forget type players for the Premier League. But Ferguson needs to get put on his big boy britches, and there's no reason that a 33-year-old Danny Welbeck should be starting over you. You got to go get that spot. And then, which kind of leads me into the actual Premier League match, a 0-0 draw with freaking Ipswich. Just a gross game. Ferguson,
the Tractor Boys.
Yeah, just a dumb game.
Boys? That's Ipswich.
Yeah, that's
Tractor
what they call
Boys.
them, the Tractor Boys.
I love it.
69% of the ball. Nice. 1.66 XG compared to 0.35 for Ipswich. 21 total shots, 6 of them on target, 2 of them pretty much point blank into Ipswich's goaltender, Muric. We got goalied this game, but we really didn't do ourselves any favors. The one shining moment was the turn and shot from Ferguson. Made me happy to see that. Other than that, nothing really to compliment about this game. I mean, another good one from Baleba. We were short on some players. I guess he didn't want to start or even really play Pedro because of his trip. But Enciso played in the same game as Pedro, and he ended up coming in at a 67th minute sub. So not a lot of notes on this one. It was just a stinky game. The things I can rest my head on is Ferguson looked good when he came on as a sub, and De Zerbi would have lost that game. I know it. It's just he would have lost that game. At least we didn't lose that game.
I've got a couple comments for you based on Brighton overall. Is there first of all, is there an African Cup of Nations every year?
Every other year.
It's qualifiers now.
Because every player that you mentioned early on is from the continent of Africa. So when that tournament comes, you guys are screwed. That got me thinking,
Wasn't it last year?
It was last year, so it won't be this season.
So what are the English? You guys don't have a whole lot of like English players. What are the rules on that again? The homegrown
There's
players?
a certain number of quote unquote homegrown players that you need to have, and they don't necessarily have to be English. I don't think for the homegrown quotient, but
Does
I also
Ireland
think there
players
is
count?
no. Northern Ireland would, but not Ireland.
Right. UK, I guess, is northern.
Yeah.
Know that.
But I think there is like an. Oh, you know what? I don't even know if actually I take that back. I don't think Northern Ireland does. I think it's broken down into individual countries, not just the UK for that. At any rate, I think there is like a certain number of English players, and they have like Hinshelwood's English, right? Like, I mean, they have some guys, and I mean, Milner. They have well, they don't have Lallana anymore, but there's a number of guys on there. Just not some of the stars, not some of the exciting players that necessarily the exciting players.
Gotcha.
Webster, yeah.
We have I guess Milner would be our only English midfielder, and then the other English players we have are either defenders or forwards. Yeah. And Solly March eventually will come back from injury.
Yeah. Who was the other center back that Tyndall used to love paired with Dunk? Lewis?
Well, it's Lewis Dunk, but
no, Dunk and it's another D. There's another D.
Oh, Dan Byrne?
Nah, dang it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm gonna text him. But we can move on.
Get some research. Yeah.
Get some research. All right, should we go to Villa? Unless you got any final thoughts.
Well, yeah, just to end it, like that I had put in the notes for the show, Brighton and trap games. That was just pretty much my thing. Is like I said, De Zerbi would have lost that match. That was just something that we would have done last year, and we were able to hang on to it. You need to be beating Ipswich because we got Forest, Chelsea, Spurs, Newcastle, Wolves again, Liverpool, and City. Like that, it's a murder's row for the next few matches. So get your shit together, get these points.
Yeah, I guess if you would have beaten Ipswich, you would have been feeling real good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That draw. Yeah, that kind of sucks. So you got Forest first, though. You could beat them, although they're coming off of a win over old Liverpool.
That was at Anfield too, wasn't it?
I could tell you in a second.
It was. Yeah, it was. Yes, it was at Anfield.
That brought me joy. That brought me great joy to see them lose.
Somebody said it was like the first time they've beaten them at Anfield in like 55 years.
It was like 1964 or something. Yeah, there was something like that.
And that's wild because wasn't Forest like European champions in like the 70s or something like that? They got like 2 of them in the 70s.
Yeah, that 2 stars. It was like back to back, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. 70s somewhere. Yeah, another Villa style famous old club. As I moved to Villa here. Quickly, Duffy is. Yeah.
Yes, Duncan
Irish.
Duffy. Yes,
Irish.
Tyndall used to love that pairing.
He does. It gave him 2 seconds. And he responded to that, so that's any idea.
I love Duffy too. He just, I don't know, something. He started a short circuit as he got older. I think he ended up at like Celtic.
Yeah, is he still alive?
Well, he's a piece of shit then. So anyway, all right. So Aston Villa, yeah. So I won't go through all the games to catch up. So
well, first we want to talk about some young boys, right?
You want to start with Champions League and then do Premier League? All right. Yeah, we beat some young boys at the Wankdorf.
The Wankdorf?
That's the name of the stadium.
Yeah. The name of the stadium, the Wankdorf.
The young boys played the young. Oh no, the Wankdorf.
It's
hilarious.
Yes, the Wank. Yeah,
right.
I mean,
I'll shut up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm immediately 12 years old again, like giggling. Anyway, first game of the new format. Away games in Europe are tough no matter what, and honestly, Villa made it to the semifinals of the Conference League, but like they weren't convincing early on in their adventures. I think they lost to Legia Warsaw in their first game in the Conference League last year. So like I was nervous that it could be a tie. It could be some nerves Champions League, but it was a totally dominating performance. 2 goals called back for. Like Ollie Watkins was a phantom handball, like it just barely like kissed him, and super unfortunate for him. And then the other one was Onana, but he was 70 yards downfield. To call back a goal off of that is harsh, but I whatever, as long as they're consistent. But the other goals we scored, Ollie Watkins, he didn't get a goal this game. I'm sorry. Onana got the long distance one in this one. And the team in general, we looked really dominant. Jacob Ramsey got the kind of the cheap one. It should have been Ollie Watkins PK, or it wasn't going to be Ollie Watkins PK if he didn't score, but just kind of tapped it in. And overall just super dominating on an artificial pitch, which pissed me off. We talk about the Champions League being the top of the sport, and it's a fucking turf field that they play on.
And Wankdorf is a turf field.
Wankdorf's a turf field.
Dang, yeah, that's pretty fucked up. But you guys are sitting in the champion now. If you look at the table, you're in third place on the Champions League table. There's a table now, which is kind of
that's right. A whole 36 team table that I just want to finish at least 24th.
At it.
Before we go any further, since we're laughing about the Wankdorf and Young Boys, the keeper for Young Boys, his name is David von Ballmoes.
Oh, no. What else they got?
They
got P Diddy
going
up the wing.
I don't know.
Oh no! There's a guy named Alan. There's a guy named Alan Virginius on Young Boys.
He's right there. I'm looking at it.
The flying V.
It's pronounced Virginius.
No way.
Oh, god damn it.
Yes, anyway. So
Virginius at the Wankdorf.
We beat that young boy ass for sure.
You sure did.
Oh gosh, Helder, I need you to create a Rooster and the Villain out of context thread. Anyway, no, so that was a great win. A great way to start the Champions League campaign. Like I said, my hopes are that we can push for getting out of the being the top 24 team to get onto the playoff, if you will. That would be a cool experience. But it's gonna be tough. We got Bayern Munich at home next week, so we'll have Harry Kane in Birmingham. Oh my gosh, yeah! They exploded all over Dinamo Zagreb. It was an ass whooping. Harry Kane, what he had 3 PK goals, which is insane.
Yeah, 4 goals total.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be tough. Like we're at home, but like I mean, Bayern is Bayern, so that'll be a tough one.
It's cool to have Champions League back in general. I love having some midweek soccer.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Look at these fireworks. I'm excited for Champions League. But no, like going back to the weekend, Everton was honestly like it was an exciting game to watch. Like, and I'm not a neutral. I would just say like it was open and end to end. But as like a supporter, it was super frustrating. The goals that we gave up and then the opportunities we gave up. Calvert-Lewin like fucking choked on it the entire second half. But like for us to come back from 2-0 down, I felt good about that. I thought that was good for the boys. Onana getting subbed off at halftime was probably good for him. He was struggling a little bit anyway, and the whole storyline of him playing against Everton, I didn't want to hear any of that. So getting him off and getting Barkley on changed the team. we were able to go forward. And I know it wasn't 2-0 at halftime. Too, we had the one goal from Ali. But then we got one early in the second half to tie it up, and you just kind of felt one was coming. And you get Duran to come on in like 63rd, 64th minute, and he is he is literally chaos in a human being. Like he is, you just don't know what's gonna fucking happen when he comes on. It could be just stupid and terrible, or he could do what he did on Saturday and hit like a oh shit, I have to get out of my seat, type shot, to beat Pickford for the game winner.
What did you do
it
when
was
you saw that shot? What was your reaction? Because that was a
it
freaking
was
worldie of all
I
worldies.
I was like, so imagine if I was like sitting like this, like on the couch, and like he hit it, and I went, oh shit, and like reached out, and, like grabbed like my wife, like she's like,
Yeah.
what? I was like, oh my god, watch this, wait for the highlight to come back, and like I was just, it
Even the
was
wife
stunned,
appreciates
like,
that one.
oh my god, it was unbelievable, like just she's like, should he shoot
You
from out there? I was
okay?
like, hell no, you shouldn't shoot from out there, but like he's got like a just a howitzer of a left leg attached to his body that like when it does connect with the ball, it is a fucking thunderbolt when it comes out. And like the spin on that and everything else, it was they like they were, like a bukkake of angles on that goal. Like every camera in the stadium had an angle of that goal. It was unbelievable. He's
Definitely
had a great
earning
start.
the explicit tag on this episode. I like it.
Yeah, for sure.
Harking back to the
But
old days.
yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm here for. But no, I mean it was a good game, and again,
I don't know what
Durant gets the
bukkake is.
highlight,
Don't
but
Google it.
yeah,
Everyone knows it.
Durant gets the highlight, but honestly, I felt great for Ali. He got 2 goals. The giveaway there from um, Jack Harrison, but for him to get 2 goals to get off the schneid, he'd been really pushing the last couple weeks. I think he's had a good start to the season. He just hasn't finished the opportunities. He looked just like a little off. Even the game against the Young Boys, he had a couple opportunities that he kind of fluffed, and he still could have had some more goals. So I think he's still struggling with some like a knock he picked up at the end of um, either international duty, I think is what it was. He was struggling there, but it's been great because Duran has just been, he's game winners for us all season. It's been good. So we're in good shape, and I'm excited. I'm excited to watch Bayern, even if I'm not optimistic about it. And the Premier League sitting in fifth, it's kind of where I think we're supposed to be, and hopefully we just get a little more consistent, a little better defensively, honestly. Some of those goals against Everton, and even like the Calvert-Lewin crossbar after Duran scored, those sort of things, we got to kind of button those up, but we'll get there.
So Pau Torres is back in your center back line. I feel like that last year, I remember when he went out, you guys had gone on a streak of poor form. Is he making a big difference for you guys?
Oh, he's huge, and like just the organization, like the high line that Villa runs is tough. You got to have somebody who's like, that's your marker when you're setting up a high line like that. So he very much is the setting everyone there, but also just his ability to be a deep line playmaker. Like his distribution is fantastic, and he's sort of like he's almost like another pivot player in that center midfields that allows like Tielemans to like sneak forward a little bit up there with like Rodgers and them, and it changes the way we attack the game. And defensively, it's good too, having that solidity. I think the spot where we're struggling a little bit is, I like Bogart as a young player. He's got a lot of promise. He's filling in for Matty Cash being injured. But he got subbed off at halftime, I think, of the Young Boys game. And they brought Diego Carlos on and pushed Konza out to the right for the first time I've seen all year. And I think they really want Konza to be the center back pairing with Torres, but the right back spot has just been kind of not like a weakness. It's just been not quite right, or they're not getting the exact production they want out of it. Cash, it can be hit or miss. Nedeljkovic being on the roster is great, but he's 18. He's got to grow. And Bogart is a good player, but he gets exposed. So I think that as they sort of feel that position out, it'll sort of solidify the rest of the defense. Because Luka Dean's been fantastic. Ian Maatson coming in the offseason, you would have thought, he played in the Champions League final. He'll take that spot right away. 30-year-old Luka Dean said no thank you, and he's been playing so well. He started 90 minutes for France in the Nations League. Like, he's playing very well. So we're good across three spots. It's just that right back spot.
I know you've had your issues with him, but 3 goals in 4 matches on like an average of like 25 minutes per match is just crazy for Duran. It's like, what is it, Chicharito, Manchester United type situation.
Yeah, exactly. He is a super sub of super subs, and I think that if it like he appears like to like the guys, you can tell the guys on the team love him. Like, you can tell in the celebrations, you can tell like in all this sort of stuff. Like, everyone's got his backs, and like I appreciate that. They seem to be on the same page regardless of some of the immaturity type stuff in the off season with the hammers and all that sort of stuff. Like, I think that everyone's just kind of moving on and they recognize that. But and this is your comment about Mario Balotelli, if you could just get him to focus all the time on the just God-given talent that you possess, he could be you're talking about like, I say this very lightly. I'm talking about just potential, like the raw talent he has. You're talking about like Haaland levels, but Haaland is a machine because he is consistent. Duran is nowhere near consistent yet. He's got a long ways to go, but he's in the right structure that he could succeed in it as long as he's willing to buy into the program.
And then just a reminder for all the other teams out there, as I said in the chat, if Everton has a 2-0 lead, you got them right where you fucking want them.
100%.
Those poor fans, man.
Oh, man.
Fuck, dude.
It's a train wreck, and it's so fun to watch. It really is, especially if it's your team beating them when you're down 2-0. Yeah, what are they blown it? How many times have they blown a 2-0 lead?
2 in a row.
Back to back now. They did it against Bournemouth and us.
Yeah. And then we slaughtered them 4-0. And then you slaughtered them 3-0. They're completely joyless. There was a debate on Men and Blazers of who has less joy, Everton or Tottenham.
But I mean, it's like if you're getting boat raced, you're getting boat raced, right? So it's like they lost 3-0 and then they lost 4-0. Beat Doncaster, so it's like, okay, a little bit of hope. You beat like a lower league team, but like 2 weeks in a row of losing 3-2 after being up 2-0 is just and they got that new stadium
today in the Carabao Cup to Southampton.
Oh yeah, on penalties, huh? Oh, those poor people in Liverpool right now.
If Dyche is Dyche gone if they're bottom of the league Christmas?
He has to. That was one thing I wanted to get into as well, where it's just like that proper football man mentality that he's got, where I'm not saying go out and copy Pep, because like that shit's annoying too, but like the way you play just like it doesn't fucking work.
I mean, it worked a little bit last year, but
I think
I don't know. I'm still hoping on I'm hoping on a prayer here that Dele Alli comeback comes and resurrects Everton and gets them right into about 16th.
He's not even on their squad right now, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with Dele Alli. He preseason seemed like he was going to make a little comeback, but he's been gone. I wouldn't mind seeing him throw back a Spurs jersey one more time and seeing if he can still play a little bit, but that's just me being a dreamer.
Did Mourinho or Conte start his downfall?
Mourinho.
Yeah.
Mourinho killed him.
Was that one of those situations where it was like he wouldn't talk to me, he wouldn't listen to me type thing, or?
Yeah, I think so. That was the all or nothing season. There's a pretty good documentary where Jose is just constantly saying, "Are you Dele Alli or are you Dele Alli's brother?" Like just constantly berating him with that kind of talk. So I think Jose did it.
He is a free agent. Mike.
Oh, Dele Alli is.
Yes, yep, he is unattached. So
he should just come to MLS.
Wish him all the best.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, if he's got like bigger things going on, maybe switching countries might not be great for him. It didn't sound like it worked out in Turkey. So
Turkey's a hellhole though to play in. It seems like where good players also go to die.
Yeah. They were really happy about Osimhen.
Yeah. Victor. I mean, Turkey, that's a tough place to play on the road in a European competition. I know that. They definitely love their football.
There's whistle you to death.
Oh, the whistling.
That was who was it? Was a team, it was a club in Turkey, right? The Welcome to Hell.
Besiktas, I think.
Yeah. Was that against United in the treble season, right?
Something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, I think so. All right. You guys want to do
Rodri strike comments?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So people who aren't aware of this story, football players are being asked nowadays to take over or to take on more and more matches, whether it's international or club. Manchester City, I'm not sure the exact number, but it was like up to 80 matches for Manchester City potentially this year, 90 matches or something like that. And then also Rodri played all the way through winning the European Championships this year with Spain. He's come out recently saying that there is a potential for players to strike if there's not some sort of meeting or listening to the issues or whatever. A lot of the blowback, which at first glance I kind of agree with, is, well, I want to be a professional footballer, and if you pay me $200,000 a season or a week, I will go out and I will play that many games. But what a part of me is at the same time is, like, how much is too much? Like, do we really need that much football? Do we need to watch that many games every single year? I don't think so. It's a lot. And, it doesn't matter really how much you pay someone. I don't really want to watch these guys that I enjoy watching break down on a regular basis, which is what's going to start happening. These all-star footballers that, are going to play because they are the best in the world. Your Rodri's, Haaland actually we'll get into him later on, but he had the summer off and you could see what it did for him. I was interested in what you guys thought of this because I'm going to take the side of the players. It's, that many matches is just too much.
Yeah, I think we're probably all in agreement there. You see the way that professional athletes have to deal with injury and the harm they do to their body on a regular basis, where something like a torn Achilles is common. ACL tear, common. Hamstring, common. Concussion, common. Like, this is not common for normal people. They play too many games. The new Champions League format's greedy. They want to add more. The Club World Cup's greedy. International competition adding more teams, greedy. So it's just more of FIFA and UEFA and all these governing bodies not caring about the players and only caring about one thing: owners making money. So, yeah, completely agree. I think the players should strike. I would hate to see it, but
for sure.
Blame them.
I would certainly echo what you guys just said. The pushback stuff, and I think you're talking about from the article, Jake, but like the Paul Merson comments about like, oh, come off it, like, people don't want to hear that, like, you're making $200,000 a week, like, it's irresponsible for you to say that, like, this person can't pay their grocery bill, like, it's like there's no correlation between like people struggling with poverty and these guys make like that's unfair to make that like assumption. And B, like to say that like it's selfish of him to say something like that is like, it's so tone deaf. They the Club World Cup one is the one that pissed me off the most. Like, I don't need any more FIFA competitions at all. Like, I honestly could be very happy if they didn't do an expanded World Cup format. I don't care if that meant that like it was gonna the world. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what that means for anybody else. all
no
you're
one
going
new
to
is
see is
winning. The expanded field. There's no one
Yeah.
new coming in that's going to win this competition. It's the same.
well, it's the
6
same.
countries anyway.
They don't. It's not ever about that, right? I mean, in America, right? Like we have 12 team college football playoff, but it doesn't fucking change anything. It's going to be one of 3 teams that are going to win it. It's this same thing for international competition. Like when you are locked into the people that exist within like your borders, like it's the talent comes largely from certain parts of the world. That's just the truth. So those teams win it. I think there's only don't quote me internet, but I think there's like 9 countries total that
You're
have
going to
ever
be
won the whole
quoted. It's
thing.
being recorded.
No.
Sorry.
No,
Say
no,
it
I
again.
mean like
I cut you off. I cut you off.
no. Whoever Jake's mom, don't research this for me or do and message me back.
Or Helder.
But I think it's
my
only
mom's my mom's screaming, going Uruguay, Brazil, Germany.
Yeah, count them off.
Spain,
Yeah, no,
Italy,
I
England,
think it's less than double digits, right?
Yeah.
USMNT.
Yeah, and there's 200 some countries. Yeah, USMNT did not. Yeah,
We got
Canada,
Poch.
nowhere close.
I can see Canada making a run.
I mean, I feel better about Canada going into the 2026 World Cup than I do about the United States.
You would,
So,
you fucking Canuck.
that's right, buddy.
All right, too much.
But yeah, I mean, I think we're all on the same page on that. There should be. I don't need that many games. Honestly, like when there's less of those high level professional games, like I don't actually mind that window where like I spent a lot of time doing like for what it's worth, what we'll call grassroots in America. Like I went and did USL 2. I went and watched USL Championship, which is still like lower division soccer. Like that's no different than in England. Going to see a championship game or League One or stuff like that. So I need those windows to be able to find time to support those clubs, and I don't need to watch a Club World Cup. I don't understand why anyone gives a fuck about that one. That one blows
Nobody
my mind.
does, though.
Yeah. The
South
thing that
American
always
community.
the thing that always irritates me, like with the people that are like, as you were saying, the Merson comments, like that come off it or whatever. I'm pro labor. That's who I am as a person. I am pro labor. The idea that like you see it in American football or just American sports in general or whatever, like, oh, these athletes are paid too much. How much do you think the owners are making?
100%.
All the time. I mean, you buy a club for 100 million 10 years ago. That club's worth $1 billion now. It's ridiculous.
And
it's nothing you did drove up the value of your club. Everything that the bodies of those human beings that did it on the field is the reason you made 10 times the amount of money.
Exactly. They should be getting the lion's share of the money. Like I get the 50-50 split, whatever, but it should be more like 80-20. Like these guys, like they're putting up the salaries. Yes, they built the stadiums with our taxpayer money. Yeah, but you should be pro labor. These guys in, like, if you look at the ratio of like what your boss, you yourself, what your boss makes and what you make, and then you look at like these athletes or whatever, it's almost the same ratio. Like you don't need to, but you should support labor. You should be pro labor no matter what it is.
Amen.
For sure.
All right, let's move on. We have Holland. Does Holland make City unbeatable? Yes, he does. I think we'll touch that a different time.
Ridiculous. How many, like 9 goals in 4 matches or some shit like that?
Let's not talk about it. It's actually a little bit depressing that since I've started watching, City with a little bit of Liverpool is the only way. We really need financial fair play to come down and drop them down to the division so there's parity in the Premier League once again. That's all I got to say about that.
I love all the memes that are coming out.
Yeah, I have my old man. I'll tell you, fingers going up right now. That's because the girls I've been having to do a lot of that lately this week. Like, get to bed.
I'm not pointing at you, but like,
Yes. Find us on YouTube, 54th minute, if you want to see me do some old man fingers. But we've got a fun one here. We've got our favorite hype up songs before we play soccer. Yeah, so I think let's go through it. I'm going to go with my first OLI. It's kind of a strange one. And my list in general, I'm an elder emo. I believe they're called. So I have a couple of random ones in here, but I like Elevator by Boxcar Racer. It's actually the full Blink lineup. So Mark's got a spot, Tom's got a spot, Travis plays drums. Fantastic listen, always hypes me up. Love the song. That's my first OLI, not on the list.
We have two OLIs, right? Or
I only have one OLI.
I
okay,
just have
all right,
one as
I'm
well.
good.
Yes.
Okay, all right, cool.
So my OLI is List of Demands by Saul Williams. My better is better than your better. If you guys remember the Nike commercial from back in the day where it's like the kid running with the parachute behind him, like that song, fantastic. Always. Adrian Peterson, before he was a child abuser or before he got caught being a child abuser. Yeah, that commercial used to pump me up, and yeah, that's on the pre-match playlist.
Nice. Okay. So I for some reason decided I was gonna like pigeonhole myself into what was on the pump up soundtrack for my high school soccer team, and then I did it by that for my list. So so very very Atso, if you will, my list is. So my OLI is from the 1999 album, but it is Paper Cut by Linkin Park. Like that one was always on like one of our warm up tracks, or being played in the car somewhere. Very much Midwest Midwest
Is that
kid
on
type
Hybrid
music.
Theory? Was that on that album? Because I was definitely
Yeah,
into
that
that album.
that was the first
I know
track
that
on
album
Hybrid
back
Theory.
on the old
Yeah,
phone. We do it as we speak right here.
it's a good album,
I
man.
remember I
It really
really,
is.
really was into that album, man. I don't think I've listened to it in
I
20 years easy.
I know you're not on the internet that much, but did you see they got back together with a new singer?
Jimmy, not on the
I'm
internet.
not. I'm not on the internet.
You aren't
We
on the
discussed this
internet.
earlier. Yeah, I'm not.
Wow. Yeah, that's big
Hey
news.
guys, so I'll out
Nice
myself right
job,
now, guys. So I told these boys in the intro that two things I learned about this week were something about P Diddy. I'm not going to repeat here, and
You did
I
right.
had to Google search what Hawk Tuah was. So I learned many things about the internet today, but that were happened months ago. So
Jimmy's gonna Jimmy's gonna be playing keeper this week. He's gonna try to connect with the young kids on his team, spit on his gloves like Hawk Tuah.
I can't believe you didn't know that was listening. That is wild. I should get off the internet. You're better off for it.
maybe, I don't know, maybe.
All right, my number 5 is another emo shout to any emo kids out there. It's Pride by Manchester Orchestra. Just a fantastic fucking jam. Definitely throw it on the old rotation. Fires me right up.
My number 5 is Right Here, Right Now by Brighton and Hove Albion minority owner Fat Boy Slim. Just some good old fashioned.
Right now. Is that it?
No.
No.
Nope. No.
How does it go?
It was like right here, right now,
Yeah.
right here. No, like there's a whole like I can't do the.
I'm gonna get it all on my phone right now, right here, right now.
It's definitely a jam, and I'm surprised they haven't used.
Yeah.
I think they've used it on like a few player announcements, which I always found cool. But yeah, I love that song.
All right.
Yeah.
Continuing my again, like I was in high school in the early 2000s. Hi, children. Number 5 for me. And like again, I outsourced this a little bit. Like I texted some of my friends that I grew up with, I played soccer with, like, you know, Babel, who's been on this podcast before. But number 5 was X Gonna Give It To You by DMX. That one was always and like we talked about this too. We like, and you'll see this through the list. Like we got away with some songs like being played on, you know, like on the stadium speakers but like we always picked like mostly like the edited versions. I think like once or twice shit slipped through, but yeah, X Can Give It To You by DMX was definitely one that was on the home playlist.
The Mina Kimes version.
No, not the Mina Kimes.
I think I know the Mina Kimes version.
There's a she's at ESPN. She mainly does football, but she was on the Dan Levitard show, and they had her try to do a DMX impression, and it came out like X gonna get you.
Where the hood at?
Yeah.
He
had,
DMX. Yeah, he had some jams. R.I.P.
Oh shoot, for sure.
I'm gonna continue with my emo list. It's my last emo shout. Gasoline by Brand New. My favorite band, Brand New. Might have been Me Too, but I can separate the art from the artist, and Gasoline definitely is a absolute fire track. Hypes me right up as well.
Nice.
Go ahead.
No, go.
Oh, my number 4, Thug Love by Bone Thugs and Harmony featuring Tupac. I'll probably be punished for hard living, blind to the facts, thugs as convicts in God's prison, hands on the strap. So, yeah, my white ass driving to soccer.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean,
you're allowed. I think.
I'm not throwing any stones in my glass house. So, number 4 for me, I think. So I remember this song from France '98. And that was also the first version of FIFA I had. So this song was the intro song for that. And honestly, I would say that this was before Seven Nation Army came out by the White Stripes. Like this was the stadium anthem, and it's song 2 by Blur.
Yes.
Yep. So yeah, 100%.
I remember that in FIFA '98. Just throwing that in my N64 and that song just cranking. Yeah,
oh yes, I was like, all right, we're in for EA Sports.
It's gonna be the outro song, I believe, for this episode.
There we go.
Nice. Rip it from the internet. All right, it's on me. Number 3. It's a recent shout. I cannot pull the song out of my head and off my speakers. $1 Million Baby by Tommy Richmond. Have you heard this song?
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's so good. You gotta, Jimmy. I know you're off the internet, but $1 Million Baby.
I have Spotify.
Yes,
I have Spotify. I can do that.
Put it right on. You'll recognize it from Instagram. For oh no, you won't, because you're not on Instagram.
No, I won't.
It's on like every video.
Hey, don't tell anybody that I work for.
I run the city for so damn long. I got next. Yeah, great song. Love it.
Nice. Add it to the playlist. Nice.
So my number 3 is We Gon' Make It by Jadakiss. Started the fuck the frail shit. Typical like late 90s, early 2000s New York hip hop beat. Love me some Jadakiss. So yeah.
What was the song name?
We Gon' Make It.
Jadakiss. We Gon' Make It. I'm adding all these. All right, Jimbo.
All right. Well, you don't need to add this one. Just it's as somebody from the early 2000s, and just I have to really emphasize like how painfully Midwestern we are. We're from Michigan, bunch of kids. Eminem's going crazy. 8 Mile comes out. Lose Yourself is on our warm-up track. So, yeah, it happened. But number 3 for me is Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Ain't no shame in that for me, because I actually have an Eminem song from the Marshall Mathers LP as my number 2. Criminal.
Oh, nice.
The opening track to Marshall Mathers LP.
Yes.
Is such hot fire and so raunchy that it really does.
Oh, boy.
It gets me going. I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
When I was just a little baby boy, my mama used to tell me these crazy things.
Oh,
Tell me my daddy was an evil man. He used to tell me he hated me. All right, go.
I don't even, yeah, it just
I got a little bit
the
older.
beat is killer.
Crazy one. All right, go Jake.
Time out.
I was gonna let you go. I was just gonna let you go. I
You
was
just
just
let
like
him keep
back up. I was
going.
like, oh, I'm gonna clear the lane for Mike to finish up Criminal. Oh, it is a banger. Like
Banger.
we talked about like I said, I text back and forth with some buddies, and we talked about like Lose Yourself versus Criminal. But like we didn't get away with Criminal like we did with Lose Yourself, because Lose Yourself there was like a radio edit that we could put on and
Right.
it was fine. But
The verse or the chorus to Criminals, I'll kill you. You can't really play that in a high school stadium.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is the one that like pretty much ages me. Not because the song's old, but because I'm old and I probably shouldn't be listening to this music. It's Is You Ready by K-Flock. Some good old-fashioned Bronx drill. The 20-year-old rapping about people he's killed and the ops' dead homies and whatnot. But it's like a UK drill beat with this guy rapping over it. Nothing to write home about with the lyrics. It's just, playing as a defender. Huh?
Who's this by? Is he ready?
K-Flock, Is You Ready?
K-Flock.
He actually did kill somebody. I believe he's in jail for like murder and racketeering now. But it's
just
good
for
to listen
context.
to. Yeah.
Just for context, how old are you, Jake?
I am 35.
Okay, yeah. So the youngest person on the pod. But go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. So yeah, as a defender, I have to chase, and as a left-sided defender, I have to chase wingers around all day. So that music makes me want to put them into the boards and gets me ready for the match.
Yes. All right. I'm going to throw that on the rotation as well. And really this last one for me, my number 1, I think you could probably what, you got 2? Jimmy?
I haven't done 2.
Yeah,
my bad.
Done
All right, go.
No, you're fine. No, it's not worth mentioning. The next, like, number 2, number 1, I only put as number 2 and number 1 because they had probably the most rotation, but they're also like for me like the not my favorite ones. But number 2 again, Real Midwestern Kids from from Michigan, Into Club by 50 Cent was on there all the time. And I say that like I say that going back to like mentioning like you can't play like having Lose Yourself makes sense over Criminal. We had In the Club over Magic Stick, which we definitely would have played, but there's nothing you can there's nothing Magic Stick you can play at a high school stadium. So yeah, In the Club by 50 Cent.
I mean, when Get Rich or Die Trying came out, that was a record.
That was a good record.
That record is still really good. Still really good. Yeah. All right. Well, I was like I said before, I was rudely interrupted by Jimmy going in the correct order. This whole album, I think you could probably throw on your hype list in some respect. Bulls on Parade, gotta be the number 1 hype song in the world, in my opinion. I can, if I'm going to play somewhere and that song's belting out of the speakers, I will definitely punch some young boys and make me do anything.
Isolate it.
Yeah.
Oh, you could make a compilation video from this podcast of just like young boys inappropriate comments, but
so my number 1 is from, in my opinion, the greatest soccer commercial of all time. Winner Stays On. The song is Miss Alyssa by Eagles of Death Metal. You'll recognize the commercial as the one where the school, Mike, if you're going to search the song, just search Winner Stays On Nike commercial. Fantastic song, fantastic commercial. The kids get on and it goes from a schoolyard game to them playing as their favorite players. It goes into a giant stadium. The Hulk's in it, who then turns into why is his name escaping me? former U.S. men's national team goalkeeper.
Brad Friedel.
Had Tourette's. Tim Howard. There we go.
Yeah.
Rooney's in it. Ronaldo's in it. Neymar's in it.
Oh,
They have
I
a scene
remember the
where
commercial. Yeah.
the guy goes Iniesta, and he turns into like a mailman with the name Iniesta, and they come up to Iniesta. Zlatan.
Nice. Oh,
I remember the commercial. Now I'm gonna songs on rotation. So I'm looking forward to it all tomorrow.
It barely beats out the Shoga Benito commercials for me, which actually RIP to the guy who did the music for those. The remake of Mash Kenada, he passed away recently. So yeah.
Rest in peace, buddy.
Rest in power, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh. Jimbo?
If you do that fucking magnets, how do they work song, I'm gonna die.
No. No, it's so basic. I'm embarrassed to say it, but it is. Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas.
Ooh, that is a basic bitch song.
That was the most rotated. That was the most rotated warm-up song on our warm-up track in a long line of ones that we couldn't get away with. Lots of, we got DMX on there, we had Eminem on there, we had 50 Cent on there, and we had to mix in some other stuff. So we had that and a little extra OLI for you. We, in particular, chose the Mariah Carey version of the national anthem because it's like the longest fucking version you've ever heard. And like, teams would get so pissed, and we would just like sit there and like just be stretching out like while we're standing in line. It's like a 4-minute song when she sings it. But yeah, that's that was number one, unfortunately for me. But the list is reflective of the 2004 Vicksburg High School boys soccer team. So
good old Vicksburg. I visited Vicksburg this summer. Lovely little town.
Indeed.
All right, we got
we get left.
Coming. Let's make them quick though. This dad's got to go to bed.
What's up, the rants you said or
rants?
Yeah, because I had added USMNT, but I'm glad that we made this pod long and we don't have to talk about them.
I'll tell you what. If you guys feel like talking, I'll jump off right now.
Oh no, I don't want to. Yeah. As I said on Twitter,
USMNT.
I hate having to watch them. I would rather get a root canal from an epileptic dentist at a strobe light convention than have to watch that fucking team ever again. But my rant for the week is you saw the kitten. If you're watching YouTube, you saw the kitten. That was one of 3. The other one, the third one, he passed away on, when was it? I believe it was Saturday night. He got really sick. We had to get him incubated or whatever. He had like the feline version of parvo. And then he passed away, had to be put down on Sunday just because he just wasn't surviving. My point is get your animals fixed. You don't need a dog with a set of nuts. They don't need to have one litter. That's just a rumor. Animals are much happier when they've been spayed or neutered, and you'll be doing a good thing for your community as well. Also, if you have time, find out about trap and release programs for feral cats. A lot of these cats are giving birth to babies that are just not making it because the disease runs rampant through feral colonies. Most humane societies or animal services will have a trap and release program where you can borrow a trap from them. You trap the ferals, bring them to them, they snip them, and then they give them back and you release them. We don't have an issue with rodents or pests here because we have a colony of feral cats, but we also got them all fixed. Just take care of your fucking animals is the point I'm trying to make. I shouldn't be my 6'2", 250-pound ass shouldn't be in a car crying because I had to have a fucking kitten put down. So get your animals fixed.
Oh, poor little kitty. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it sucked.
Little kitties. Mine's short and sweet.
I'm really sorry about that, Bob.
I just want to give a shout out to Ian Sawyer from Moco Spurs. I'm wearing the kit right now. These turned out really nice. There we are. These turned out really nice. And Ian, just in general, is doing a fantastic job. I think we had 35 people out to North London Derby at 9 a.m. at a brewery. Although the brewery now has added a coffee shop, which is pretty sweet. So it's like had all these soccer projects going for years and years and years. There's never been a whole lot of fruit. Moco Spurs is bringing me a lot of joy. Ian's doing a great job running it. So I just want to shout it out. I get shouted every week though. So
I'm telling you, I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna find a way to get on one of those screens when we play. Just like
yeah, I could probably bring you out there on this laptop I've got. If it's still alive. When this laptop dies, podcast goes with it. It's staying a few years. It's getting old too. I think I've had it. Yeah. Ooh. It's gotta be 7 years old at this point. It still runs pretty good. So
does the job, right?
Yeah,
for sure. That's also how you get. Was it Fox? What were you trying to like get to watch?
A bunch of streams. Yeah, I'm like signed in on my brother-in-law's account just on this computer. So yeah, it's really the only way I watch a bunch of streams. ESPN.
Oh gosh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
well done,
Jamie.
Oh yeah, sorry, rant. It's a long story. I'll make it short. I read it was a cool article, and it fairly not. It was on ESPN, but it was about Norway and their like fan grassroots push to get rid of VAR. And they've gotten a lot of notice recently. I think that you probably saw it on the news. Like there was a game that was abandoned because there was too many fish cakes thrown on the field, which is incredibly Norwegian. But they said that it's been like a really unique unifying thing across lots of fan bases, like even rivals, joining in to really show their distaste for VAR. And I think that like what they're doing is actually really cool. I think that I've said positive things about VAR in the past, and I think like at this point, I'm not even suggesting that it should go away because it's not going to go anywhere. But like the idea that there are still people out there that want to be able to, and I think this is like the thing that rings the loudest and the truest is they'd like to have the instant joy of seeing a goal go in and not question when's the VAR signal to go up. Like you can't really ever celebrate because it's like, you're waiting for the other foot to fall. And I agree, like to like in a purist sort of way, like there is something outstanding about the idea like the goal goes in and you just get to celebrate. Like and I understand why VAR is there, and there's too much money that it'll ever go away. And I guess I've never been on the wrong end of getting really, really burnt by a bad or a missed decision. But at the same time, like I think that's also part of what makes the game great. Like the referees they try really hard. I think that's something that people forget. Like they are working really hard. They want to make the product the best way possible. However, like we keep asking for more and more from them, in addition to monetarily, they get asked like more like from the clubs that own the product. They want more and more to make the product better, right? And so those things are also, you have to like remember that they're not trying to make the game worse. But I miss the human error, like in a certain sense, like circumstance, like, and I'd be willing to go back and forgive some of the human error, other than the fact that we're not avoiding any of those arguments that we had in the first place. We're still arguing over VAR calls, like, and we're doing so in a way that is just like breaking down a sport that moves at 1,000,000 miles an hour into like slow-mo frame by frame clips. And that's not what the sport is. Like I am okay with some of the gray, and I hope Norway and their fans get what they want. I hope they're able to ban VAR. And I hope that when it happens, like, there's going to be some really cool, fun stories that come out of it. And I know it's not going away from our leagues or whatever, but as my rant, I miss the unbridled joy that comes with knowing that when that goal goes in the goal, that I can stand up and scream and celebrate and take my yellow card for taking my shirt off and swinging it on my head because it's a goal. It's over, you know. So that's my rant.
Yeah, I started watching the game the year before VAR was implemented. So yeah, different world. Used to love it.
100%.
I love it, but
For sure.
Yeah.
As a fan of a USL Championship club and a NISA club, it's one of those things where, you know, I don't harbor ill will towards refs for more than a night after the game, and then it's just okay, whatever. Like it seems like the
you don't
VAR
get
decisions,
replays, so you don't even know if the call is bad or not.
Yeah,
So, that's helpful. I
Yeah.
feel like
The purest.
Yeah, that's what killed the old refereeing system, is that there was a million replays the next day showing that the referee is an idiot. But yeah. Anywho, all right.
100%.
Later, gents.